Hello again, welcome back. Today I would love to talk about near-death experiences, or also known as NDE content. I fortunately do not have an experience of such, but I love to actually watch this kind of NDE content on YouTube, which was first suggested to me like 1 year plus ago. Since then, it have really changed how I see the world and how things work and what's the real reality of actually happening within the bigger universe. So I would like to tell you from my perspective what it is, how it looks like, and how it comes to be, how it can actually shift your perspective as well. So most of the people that get into NDE is usually through accidents. You would say horrible accident. It could be car accident, it could be drowning, or when you're swimming, when you're doing something, or doing something very challenging like climbing an icy mountain to a very high peak. People fall, they went unconscious, and usually they pop off their body. From there, they will be able to see where they are, and sometimes they don't relate to their own body. They'll float up and away and reaches a place depending on where they like to go and what their belief system are at that moment in time. If you're Christian, if you're atheist, if you're Buddhist, different people with different belief system will reach different places, and the setup is almost always different, but the script on how they reach there and how they went through it is almost universally the same thing. So what happened is that many times they will usually come back in their body, awaken, and doesn't really have much damages to their physical health. They basically bounce back like nothing happened, but every time they do, it feels like they are a different person or entirety of themselves. They become a changed person literally, and when they come back, they will usually tell fantastical tale, stories, mythical beings, dragons sometimes, angels, archangels, ascended masters like Yeshua, Buddhas, whoever that you're close to. If you're Indian, you might see Shivas, Vishnu, Krishna, who knows. But they usually recall these kind of encounters along with their life review, and usually once they finish their life review, they notice that their time is not up in their incarnation on earth. They usually get sent back, and the person who died usually plead to not send back because it's too cramped and too low frequency on earth realm. But because due to their contract is not ended yet, as in their learning experiences are not ended, so they need to get sent back. And when they do, most of the time these people will have opened up their psychic abilities. I'm talking about clairvoyance, clairsentient, clairgaudian, basically all the extra ability that a human can access to. Because in our physical body, we have the 5 senses. We can smell, taste, see, hear, and touch, right? You got extra sensory of these 5 as well. Those will be open up. So these people, you usually have those extra ability open up once they come back. So that's the fun part. There is actually a backstory to the reason why I am extremely interested in NDE contents. I would love to set it up as a timeline so you will understand clearly what I'm talking about. Let's start from the very beginning, back in August 2023. This was when I was still developing Android apps for Play Store. So I was in a developer role that I operate myself as a business, as an app entrepreneur. So if you are using the app called The Stoic or Zen and Zo on Android, those apps are created by me. So at that moment in time, I was very fed up with my role as an Android developer and wanted something new. So deep within, I make a silent prayer to the universe, which is God or the source. What happened is that I did not verbalize or vocalize this prayer out. I actually say within my heart. No one knows it. I did not tell no one. And lo and behold, what happened on that same year at December, after I come back from my Japan trip on November that year, the universe sent me the first NDE content on my YouTube. I was very curious how this popped into my view, and usually the day before it does not exist at all, and this one video started my journey into knowing, learning and understanding all these near-death experiences from different people from different walk of life. So this started a spark that lasts for more than a few months for me to keep diving into different interviews like from Next Level podcast, and from other interviews, people who are willing to come through to actually share. This kind of content actually start to jump through in different video contents on social networks at that time as I feel it. So it was very interesting for me to actually trying to see the commonalities of each near-death experience from different people's perspective. I learned quite a lot, and it actually jump-started quite quickly and nicely into my own spiritual journey. What happening is that as I go through the content, I felt that my worldview is very limited, as in the current scientific reasoning and logical view of the left brain society that modern society is based on. I feel like there are actually more, because what they say and they come back and what happening to them and their body doesn't really make any logical reasoning sense. Like, because these people died for more than 5 minutes, 15, 20, 30, 1 hour. There are some recorded cases for more than a few days, and they are in the fridge and they are back alive with not much issue. There's no brain damage. They are functioning good, because medically, if we look into the brain function, if the brain lacks oxygen for 3 to 6 minutes, you become a vegetable, I would say. As in, you would not be able to operate your body anymore. You will be staying on a vegetable state, and that's not a really good place to be. But most of these people, almost all, have no such issue. They come back like there's nothing happened to them. They become healthy and they tell their story like nothing happened. But all this fantastical, mystical tale of what they see, what they experience, what they feel, most of the time they become very fearless of death, because they know death is not the final thing that they encounter. There's actually more to the human life. So this is like a sneak peek to death, and this really broadened my mind and bring everything that I thought I know in modern society into front and center, that I need to come and sit down to re-examine everything. Like, what is really reality? What is really life? What is real here? What is false here? So I come to learn that a lot of things that modern society don't teach actually is hidden away, for a reason that because this is how modern society runs, it's easier to actually control and take power. But I'm very happy that people are awakening to this content, near-death experiences, and actually pique their interest and curiosity to actually go research for themselves, find out from these kind of stories and interviews. So yeah. Most of the NDE content that you can find on YouTube is actually from Westerner, as in from the Western side, like United States, United Kingdom, Europe, Australia, New Zealand. It's hard to actually find any accounts from India or from the Asian region, because people here are much more conservative. And if you do tell such story out after you have your NDE experiences, people might consider you a bit cuckoo, a bit mad maybe, and you might have lost your mind to actually say this fantastical stuff, see all these things. I'm very happy that people from the West are actually coming out to actually share their experiences, because some of them is actually much older, like 40 years ago, 50 years ago. Even from the Western side, 40 to 50 years ago is a very hard time for people to come out to share this NDE, or rather I would say even 20 years ago. But now people are starting to come up from the woodworks, basically all the experience, because now is actually the time to just share what people have been holding on to in their life. And this has been very fun to actually witness, to see all these different encounters that they have in their near-death experiences. So most of the time, because they are Westerner, Jesus usually is the main one who run around. They will usually see Jesus Christ coming here or there, advising them, comforting them, showing them love. Sometimes God will appear, sometimes an archangel will appear. And most of the time, if you're a Christian, you see Christian places, architecture, symbology, heavens, gates, like that. If you're Buddhist, you see Buddhist architecture, Buddhist symbol, Buddhist art, and Buddhist monks going around. So it's really based on your belief system, on where you land into. The point of this is because it's not to get you frightened. It's more like making you feel safe and comfortable when you're doing your life review process. So that's why you can find different encounters and interviews saying different things, but actually they are trying to, as in from the other side, they are angels, gods, and everyone trying to make sure they are comfortable and actually slowly expand their awareness rather than shake them up. But sometimes if the person who have let's say an expectation, a belief system that they are bad people, they will go to hell. So they will actually go to such places. Like if you're Buddhist, there are 18 levels of hells, they will actually go there. The Christian have their own hell as well, so they will go there. Usually when they have enough, they just need to shout, let's say God or Jesus Christ, right? They will come and pick them up. The illusion will be shattered. They will be taken out and feel like, oh, there's actually nothing there. It's just something I jump into and actually to experience. It's just like this world. We jump into to experience for a while, then we leave to have our life review and just move on to other planets or other universe or other systems. So that's the fun part. With what I have collected and understand, it seems like there's an average experience that everyone will go through. So at first, they will have their accident. Second, they will float out from their body. Let's say they are within their home or in a hospital, they will float around the ceiling. They might not be able to understand that that is their body. Sometimes they do, most of the time they don't. Third, they will actually float out of the building, go on to the heavens and the earth above to actually see the planets. Then fourth, they usually will go through a tunnel of lights to actually reach some kind of room, some kind of place. This is usually a holding area where you will be guided by your angel, by Jesus, by God, by your ancestor, or by your grandma, whoever your loved one might be, will come and greet you and give you a life review. This place is set up depending on your belief system. If you're an atheist, it could be a modern minimalistic setup. If you're a Buddhist, you might see Buddhist structures. If you're a Christian, you see maybe a church there. So it really highly depends on how they want to set up for you to ensure that you're comfortable and safe. We're feeling safe and comfortable, right? So once that is done, your life review will go through every bits of experience. You feel through everything that you have done, you have said, you have heard the other. All will be felt in real time, the whole lifetime. Say up to then you have lifetime of 40 years. You will go through the 40 years experience from both perspective of another person and you at the same time. So you feel everything. Once that is done, most of the time they'll realize that your time is not up. So they will ask you to go back, and they will send you back with messages, images, and you will come back to your body and tell these fantastical tales, this what you see, who you encounter from the other side. Usually they might have some important messages for the masses, as in currently in our modern world, right, to share this out. And once that is done, most of the time they will have their ability open up. Psychic ability I'm talking about, clairsentient, clairvoyance, clairgustion, all the clear feeling, clear stuff. Once that is done, they will usually go back to their life as a changed person, as in not going back to their old life, as in living their life or with their heart in their hands, as in they are able to see the world in a new sets of eye, not clouded by assumption or judgment before their death. They are much more open and they have much more clarity in their mind. So yeah, it's quite a life-changing event, you would say. Alright, this is the end of the video. If you like what I have been sharing, please subscribe, click the like, and hit the notification bell button. It will help me tremendously. Thank you very much and see you on the next video. Bye bye.